Have you ever wondered why some people your age still walk with ease every morning, feel sharp and energized, while you wake up tired, struggle to sleep, and barely enjoy meals or even your own company anymore? Aging is not the enemy. The real threat lies in the small habits we repeat each day without even noticing. Habits that quietly age us faster than we realize. But here's the good news. Others have walked this path before us. In Japan, thousands of elders live vibrant, independent lives well into their 90s and even 100s, not because of supplements or superior genes, but by following 9 simple principles passed down from the life of a Japanese doctor who lived to 105. And the best part, anyone can begin. Even you. Stay with us until the end of this video, because one small change today might turn your years after 60 into the most meaningful, healthy, and liberating time of your life. So, what are these principles? Let's begin with the very first, and the foundation of all others. The Japanese call it rhythm of life. Principle 1. Living to 100 isn't a miracle, it's a rhythm. Have you ever imagined what life would look like if you lived to 100? Maybe it starts with a quiet morning. You wake without an alarm. You take a slow walk under the soft sunlight, holding a warm cup of tea. Your heart still beats strong. There are no pills, no hospital visits, no heavy fatigue we often associate with aging. Sounds far-fetched. It's not. In Japan, the country with the longest average life expectancy, this is everyday life for thousands. These aren't Olympic athletes. They don't follow strict diets. They simply live with rhythm. A steady, gentle, intentional rhythm. One of the most inspiring among them was Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, the oldest practicing physician in Japan. He lived to 105. He was still seeing patients past 100, still writing books, still giving lectures, and still smiling. His secret didn't lie in prescriptions, but in small daily choices, simple meals, slow steps, heartfelt living, and he wasn't an exception. On the southern Japanese island of Okinawa, many elders in their 90s and even 100 still shop for groceries, cook their own meals, and tend their gardens. What keeps them so healthy, sharp, and independent? Not genes, not wealth, but a way of life, learnable, repeatable, and available to anyone, even if you start today. In America, the average lifespan is about 76 years. In Okinawa, it's over 84 and still rising. So the question isn't, why do they live so long? It's, how can we live like they do? In this video, we'll explore 5 simple principles distilled from the life of Dr. Hinohara and the long-living people of Japan. These aren't just habits. They are gentle reminders, nudges to reclaim your energy, purpose, and joy at any age, whether you're 60, 70, or beyond. Principle 2. Eat until you're 80% full. The simple rule that can change everything. Have you ever walked away from the dinner table feeling just a bit too full, but kept eating anyway because we shouldn't waste food? Or maybe you were already satisfied, but the dish was so delicious you thought, a few more bites won't hurt? We've all done it, and it's in those moments of just a little more that our bodies slowly become heavier, more tired, without us realizing it. In Japan, there's a timeless principle passed down to children and practiced throughout life. Hara hachi bu. Stop eating when you feel about 80% full. Not 100%, not until you're stuffed, just 80%. Enough to feel content, but still light. It sounds simple, but this one habit has transformed how millions in Japan eat, digest, and age. Eating just a little less doesn't feel heroic, but in reality, it gives your liver time to rest. your digestive system space to recover, your heart a break, and your entire body a better chance to thrive. A study by the US National Institute on Aging found that gently reducing daily calorie intake without extreme dieting can reduce inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, increase longevity, and lower the risk of chronic diseases after 60. And you can begin as soon as your next meal. Let me tell you about Helen. She's 68, a practical woman who always reminded her grandkids, "Don't waste food." So, no matter how full she was, she always cleared her plate because it felt like the responsible thing to do. But over the years, Helen started feeling bloated after lunch. She'd grow sleepy in the afternoons, struggle to sleep at night. She blamed age until one day she stumbled upon the concept of hara hachi bu in an article about Okinawan longevity. She gave it a try. Instead of forcing herself to finish, she paused halfway through meals. She set her spoon down and asked, "Am I still truly hungry? Or am I just eating out of habit?" The first week felt strange. The second week felt lighter. By the third, she said, "I don't feel drained after eating anymore. I'm more alert. And strangely, I feel happier when I leave the table." The miracle didn't come from a supplement. It came from a moment of pause, a moment she chose to listen to her body. And here's the best part. You can start today. Try this. Eat just a bit more slowly. Set your fork down between bites. And when you feel about 70% full, pause. You might feel a little unfinished at first. But give it a few minutes and you'll feel more at ease, more comfortable. And your body will quietly say, "Thank you." Hara hachi. Bu isn't just about eating less. It's about eating with awareness. It's a way of telling yourself, "I don't need to fill my stomach to feel fulfilled." Principle 3. Not all proteins are created equal in the Western world. When we think of protein, we picture meat, a juicy steak, a grilled chicken breast, a cold-cut sandwich. But in Okinawa, home to some of the longest living people on Earth, most protein doesn't come from animals. It comes from soybeans, tofu, edamame, miso, natto. These humble foods are rich in plant-based protein, gentler on the body, easier to digest, and packed with fiber, antioxidants, and nutrients that support the heart, bones, and hormones. Dr. Hinohara once said, "I eat tofu every day, not because it's trendy, but because it makes me feel light and clear-headed after every meal," and science backs him up. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, people who regularly eat soy-based foods tend to have lower LDL cholesterol, stronger bones, and better cognitive function as they age. Let me tell you about Frank. Frank is a 73-year-old retired veteran. For years, he avoided soy because he believed it would lower his testosterone. But after dealing with constant afternoon fatigue, joint pain, and restless naps, he decided to try something different. Twice a week, he swapped red meat for stir-fried tofu. Just 3 weeks later, Frank noticed something unexpected. No more afternoon crashes. Joint pain? Significantly reduced. And for the first time in years, he didn't feel the need to nap. He didn't become a vegetarian. He didn't overhaul his diet. He simply made a small shift, and his body thanked him, and so can you. You don't have to give up meat entirely, but you can rebalance. Add lentils, black beans, or tofu to your meals. Replace one red meat dish a week with a plant-based option. Build the habit of combining protein with leafy greens. Remember, protein isn't just a number on a nutrition label. It's the building block of your body, your muscles, your brain, your immune system, and you deserve to nourish yourself with the cleanest, kindest fuel possible. Principle 4. The secret of fermented foods. Health begins in the gut. There's an old Japanese saying passed down through generations. If you want to heal, start with the gut. At first glance, it sounds simple, even obvious. But modern science is now confirming just how powerful this idea truly is. Your gut doesn't just digest food, it communicates with your brain, influences your mood and memory, shapes your immune system, and plays a key role in fighting inflammation throughout your body. When your gut is healthy, you feel lighter, clearer, more emotionally balanced. But when it's struggling, you feel bloated, foggy, restless at night, and like something inside you is off. And the best way to nurture your gut? Not from expensive probiotic pills, but from ancient, humble, fermented foods like miso, natto, pickled vegetables, and seaweed. Dr. Hinohara began every morning with a small bowl of warm miso soup. To him, it wasn't just breakfast. It was a quiet daily ritual of healing, simple, steady, deeply connected to life. Why are fermented foods so powerful? Because they're full of living probiotics, beneficial bacteria that aid digestion, reduce inflammation, produce natural vitamins, balance your immune system. Fermented foods are a special kind of nourishment. They combine whole, real ingredients, live cultures, and a slow, natural transformation process that can take days. That's why 1 spoon of real kimchi, a sip of raw miso, or a bite of traditionally pickled vegetables can do more than a shelf of supplements. Let me tell you about Claire. She's 70, a retired librarian in Oregon. Claire had always cared about her health. She tried every gut health trend, probiotic powders, digestive enzymes, fiber shakes. But every meal felt like a gamble, bloating, discomfort, hours of unease. Doctors couldn't explain it. Then, one day, a friend who had lived in Japan sent her a jar of traditional miso. No fancy instructions. Claire simply stirred a spoonful into warm water each morning. No salt, no veggies, nothing added. Within 10 days, something shifted. The bloating disappeared. Her afternoons felt calm, no longer sluggish. And most surprising of all, she started sleeping deeply again, waking up refreshed. Claire later told me, "I realized what I needed wasn't sitting on a pharmacy shelf. It was alive, simple, and slow. You don't need to revamp your entire diet to see these benefits. Just start here. 1 spoon of miso in the morning, a few bites of naturally fermented pickles, no added chemicals, or a small serving of kimchi, kefir, or plain yogurt with live cultures. That's all it takes to begin healing your gut. And, through it, your whole body. Remember, health doesn't come only from what you eat. It comes from how your body processes it. And that begins in the gut. Principle 5. Don't fear carbs. Choose them wisely, like the Japanese do for years. Carbs, also known as carbohydrates, have been cast as the villains of modern health. Low-carb diets, keto fads, detox cleanses, all seem to agree if you want to live longer and stay lean, cut the carbs. But is that really the whole truth? Let's look at Japan, specifically Okinawa, where people live longer than anywhere else in the world. They eat carbs. In fact, a lot of them. But the kind of carbs they eat makes all the difference. Instead of cutting out carbohydrates completely, the Okinawans choose the right kinds. Slow digesting, nutrient-rich, minimally processed. And the star of their diet? Japanese purple sweet potatoes. These aren't just a staple food. They make up over 60% of the daily calories in traditional Okinawan diets. Why? Because this humble root is nothing short of a natural superfood. It's packed with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that protect blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and slow cellular aging, vitamin C and potassium, to support immunity and heart health, low glycemic index, which means it won't spike your blood sugar after eating. Dr. Hinohara often chose sweet potatoes over white rice, saying he felt lighter and more energized afterward. And science agrees. A study from the US National Institutes of Health showed that diets rich in anthocyanins, like those found in purple sweet potatoes, can improve blood vessel function, reduce inflammation, and slow cognitive decline in older adults. Let me share the story of Paul. He's 69 and lives in Ohio. For years, he followed a strict low-carb regimen: eggs, greens, lean meats, no starches allowed. At first, it seemed to work, but after a few months, he hit a wall. Fatigue, insomnia, and strong sugar cravings he couldn't explain. A nutritionist suggested he try adding just a small portion of steamed sweet potato to his lunch. He was skeptical, but within 2 weeks, something changed. He had a steady energy throughout the afternoon. His sugar cravings vanished. His blood sugar levels became more stable than they'd been in years. Paul said, "I didn't need to fear carbs. I just needed to pick better ones and eat them with kindness." You can do the same. Try swapping white bread for oats or steamed sweet potatoes. Avoiding heavily processed carbs like instant noodles, pastries, and white sugar. Eating carbs earlier in the day when your body needs the energy most. Remember, it's not carbs that cause weight gain or disease. It's how we choose, prepare, and combine them. And when you choose smart carbs like the Japanese do, you take one simple step toward a longer, healthier life. Principle 6. Rhythm over willpower. Long life begins with a gentler pace. When we're young, we're taught that staying healthy takes discipline, that to change our lives, we need to push harder, that if we want to live longer, we have to fight against aging every single day. But Dr. Hinohara, who lived to 105, taught something quite different. He didn't live by a strict workout plan. He didn't count every gram of protein or schedule intense gym sessions. He simply followed a rhythm, a gentle, steady, joyful rhythm. Every morning he woke early but never rushed. He ate the same breakfast each day: a warm bowl of miso soup, a few pickled vegetables, a bit of rice. He took the stairs instead of the elevator, and even in his 90s he still saw patients, wrote books, gave lectures, and laughed often. When asked about his secret to longevity, he smiled and said, "I just keep myself busy with things that bring me joy." In Western culture, especially in the US, we live in a world of better, faster, stronger. We chase health trends, we follow intense routines. We feel guilty if we skip a detox, miss a workout, or eat something off-plan. And eventually, we burn out, not just physically, but mentally, because we're trying to live the way others say we should, instead of living in a way that actually fits our own rhythm. Let me tell you about Marie. She's 71 and lives in California. Marie was a perfectionist about her health. Her kitchen was covered in notes: no sugar, low carb, eat clean. She counted calories, measured every meal. But the more she tried to control her health, the more anxious she became. She started sleeping poorly, forgetting things, feeling lost in her own life. Then one day she came across Dr. Hinohara's story, and something clicked. She didn't launch into a 30-day challenge. She simply made a quiet decision. I'm going to slow down and start loving the simple things again. She began waking up early, not to track steps, but to breathe in the morning sun. She replaced rushed coffee with a cup of tea. Each afternoon she sat by the window for 10 minutes, just watching the garden, listening to classical music, or doing absolutely nothing, and then she began smiling more. Not because life was perfect, but because she was finally living in her rhythm, not someone else's. You see, it wasn't willpower that helped. Marie change, it was joy, gentle, lasting joy that came from within, and you can start too. No need to wait. No need to overhaul everything. Just begin with 3 small things. A favorite song in the morning. A call to an old friend. One evening without screens, just you, and a quiet cup of tea, because living well isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's not about grinding harder. It's about moving at a pace you can truly keep for life. Principle 7, the social vitamin: connection, purpose, and belonging. There's something people rarely mention when talking about longevity. It's not nutrition, it's not exercise, it's not supplements, it's loneliness. And it's a silent epidemic, especially among older adults in developed countries like the United States. Did you know? More than 1 in 3 Americans over 60 say they feel lonely on a regular basis. No one to eat dinner with, no one to talk to, no reason to get up in the morning. And loneliness doesn't just hurt the heart emotionally, it damages it physically. Studies show loneliness increases the risk of heart disease and stroke, cognitive decline and dementia, depression and poor sleep. But in Japan, they've known this truth for generations, and they've found a remedy that doesn't come in pill form. It's not in any prescription. It's what they call the social vitamin: human connection. In Okinawa, the elderly don't live alone. They live in community, often as part of small, tight-knit circles called moai. These are groups of friends who meet daily to cook together, garden, laugh, and share life's ups and downs. No agenda, no appointments, just presence. Even more, many Japanese elders live with a sense of ikigai, their reason to wake up each morning. For some, it's cooking for grandchildren. For others, it's tending a herb garden, practicing calligraphy, or simply sharing a warm smile with a neighbor. Because when you have a reason to exist, your body will find a reason to stay strong. Let me tell you about Walter. He's 75, living in Iowa. After his wife passed, he found himself floating through the days, barely engaging with anything. Each day felt like the last, until he joined a pottery class for local seniors. There, he didn't just learn to shape clay. He rediscovered laughter, friendship, and, most importantly, a sense that he still mattered within me. A few months, Walter was eating better, sleeping more deeply, and most of all, wanting to live again. Because long life isn't just about time, it's about having people to share that time with. So if you've been feeling alone, if it's been a while since you connected with someone, you can begin again today. Call an old friend, join a local book club, art class, or volunteer group. Invite a neighbor over for tea. Sometimes a simple hello is the first thread that reconnects you to the world. And always remember, you still matter, and this world still needs you, in your own unique way. Principle 8. The silent trio of healing: sleep, laughter, and stillness. We've talked about food, movement, and human connection, but there's a quiet trio, often overlooked, that the Japanese deeply value. And modern science is just beginning to understand how powerful they really are. They are sleep, laughter, and stillness. No gadgets, no pills, no fancy routines. But if even one of these is missing, your body will feel it. Sleep. the body's natural repair. Kit, when you sleep, your body isn't resting. It's working silently, repairing cells, strengthening memory, clearing toxins from your brain, recharging your energy. A good night's sleep improves heart health, immune function, mental clarity, mood and resilience. Dr. Hinohara, even past 90, went to bed and woke up at the same time every day. He called sleep the greatest gift you can give your body each night. Laughter, nature's instant medicine. A genuine laugh does more than lift your spirits. It can lower blood pressure, release endorphins, feel-good hormones, relax your nervous system, reduce stress. Instantly, in Okinawa, the elderly don't hold back their laughter. They giggle at small things, a clumsy moment, a silly memory, a playful wink from an old friend. Laughter won't erase the years, but it will make those years worth living. Stillness, the forgotten space. For healing in Japan, there's a beautiful word, ma. It means the space between, the pause between two sounds, the quiet moment between two actions, the breath between two thoughts. It is in this stillness that healing begins. The Japanese make space for silence, even in busy lives. No phone, no TV, no talking, just sitting, breathing, listening to themselves. You can start with something small. 5 minutes of silence after breakfast, a quiet afternoon tea without screens, a brief pause between tasks, just to breathe. This trio may seem simple, but together they are the foundation that keeps your body, mind, and spirit whole, especially as you age. Let's reflect for a moment. Did you sleep well last night? Did you laugh out loud at least once today? Did you give yourself even one moment to be still? To do nothing, just to be? If not, that's okay. But tomorrow, choose just one. Because a long life isn't about having more years. It's about going deeper into the years you already have. Principle 9. A daily longevity menu inspired by Japan, simplified for you. By now, you may have begun to realize something important. That the secret to a long life isn't found in magic formulas or prescription bottles. It lives in the small, simple things we do, day in and day out. And one of the most powerful of those, the meals we eat. In Japan, food isn't just fuel, it's a quiet ritual, a way to nourish both body and soul. You don't need to live in Japan to embrace this mindset. You just need a gentle roadmap, a little guidance to begin right in your own kitchen. Here's a simple, longevity-inspired daily menu. Breakfast. Warm, gentle, easy to digest. Small bowl of warm miso broth. You can add soft tofu, seaweed, and scallions. Half bowl of brown rice or quinoa, 2 slices of naturally fermented pickles, like mild kimchi or homemade sauerkraut. Why? This light meal gives your body probiotics and steady energy, helping you start your day calm and nourished, not overloaded. Lunch, satisfying, balanced, deeply nourishing. Cup of lightly steamed or stir-fried vegetables, like bok choy, carrots, or pumpkin. Half cup pan-fried tofu with garlic and ginger, half-baked or steamed Japanese purple sweet potato. Sprinkle of toasted sesame seeds or dried seaweed on top. Why? This plate gives you fiber, plant-based protein, antioxidants, and slow digesting carbs, keeping you full, focused, and energized without the crash. Afternoon. Time to rest and restore, and cup of green tea or chamomile tea, a handful of almonds or a few slices of fruit, pear, apple, or blueberries. 10 minutes of quiet sitting or a gentle walk outdoors. Why? This break helps you recharge without relying on strong caffeine or sugary snacks that spike your blood sugar. Dinner. Light, soothing, sleep-supportive bowl of oatmeal, cooked with mushrooms and black beans. Stir in a bit of miso once it cools slightly to preserve the live probiotics. Bowl of warm vegetable broth with kale, daikon, or squash. Optional. Dessert. A few slices of banana or a spoonful of plain fermented yogurt. Why? A light, nourishing dinner lets your liver and digestive system rest at night, improving your sleep and overall recovery. You don't need to eat exactly like the Japanese, but you can learn from their mindset. To eat for a long life is not to eat less, it's to eat with purpose. Start with one small thing, a bowl of miso, a purple sweet potato, a meal enjoyed slowly without distraction. And soon you'll feel it, your body thanking you for the care. Now let's take a moment to reflect. Longevity isn't a miracle, it's the result of small, steady choices repeated every day. You don't need to go to extremes, you don't need to be wealthy. You just need to understand what truly nourishes you. Let's look back at 5 of the most powerful principles we've learned from Japanese elders and from Dr. Hinohara's remarkable 105-year life. Eat until you're 80% full to stay light, sharp, and ease digestion. Choose plant-based proteins like tofu and edamame to reduce inflammation and protect your heart. Add fermented foods daily to heal and balance your gut. Embrace smart carbs like purple sweet potatoes instead of refined starches and sugars. Live at your own rhythm, slow, joyful, connected, and filled with meaning. And one last thing, perhaps the most important, start today. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. Just begin with one small thing. A slower, more mindful meal, a phone call to someone you love, an afternoon away from screens, a night of restful, uninterrupted sleep. And if this video has brought you even a moment of clarity or inspiration, leave us a comment below. I'll start by laughing more today. And if you found this message valuable, please share it with someone you care about, a parent, a friend, a neighbor who deserves to live a long, healthy, meaningful life. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel because there's so much more coming just for you. Thank you for spending your time with us. Slow down a little, but live a little deeper every single day. We'll see you in the next video.